has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall Coast to Coast in the biggest way possible right here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty. We've got the Prime Minister Cam Stewart with us as well. We'll bring him in a moment. Very busy day. It's almost going to feel like our typical Football Friday show here as we head into the Thanksgiving holiday tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours at home. We will go through all the games today. All the NFL, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. All the college, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. New college football playoff rankings. Just tons of things to do here today on C2C. We will have Gabe Morency, as always, in the first hour. We'll get all of the selections from him that he's going to have. We've got Mafia in the final hour as well. Big PFL championships coming up on Friday. Combat Sports Report host. We'll talk to Maf. And then Adam Kaplan, our SportsGrid NFL insider, will head us out with all of his news and notes for the NFL Week 13 slate, which will begin tomorrow with 3 games on Turkey Day. As we mentioned, we do have the Prime Minister back with us one more time, Cam Stewart, here on C2C today. Hi, Cam. How are you?
Mike, I got to tell you something. I found a golf tournament on Golf Wednesday. The Handa Australian Open, Mark Leishman, 12-1. Ding dong.
You know, you're hot stuff. You really are. You are hot stuff. You come in here. It is
just a clown.
You know how much I love Golf Wednesday, and you got to give me a little Aussie Open. When's that teeing off now? Tonight?
A little bit later on tonight. Little bit later on tonight, buddy.
There's a chance sometime in the next 3 hours, Cam nudges me towards putting a play in for that event, so we will have to see. I'm going to have to look at the board now and see who's playing in the Aussie Open this week. Good board? Oh, now you got me excited. All right, we'll get to that eventually. We do have other things to get to first. Let me start with this, Cam, actually, because, again, it is feast week with the college hoops, and you had a great time yesterday as you hit Colorado while we were on air against UConn. Well, Colorado's at it again, Cam, in the first game of the day at the Maui, the 5th place game against Iowa State. 24-22, Iowa State leads, about 7 minutes to go in the first half out there. You've got the battle for Atlantis starting today as well. Gonzaga is up on West Virginia, 28-23. Did they play the first leg of the Battle of Atlantis yet? They did. Louisville beat Indiana. In fact, they didn't just beat them, Cam. They smashed them, 89-61. In that first game down there at Atlantis. So you got the second one with Gonzaga and West Virginia going now. Nothing else great happening here, but I know while we're on, you've got, who's going to start? Oregon, San Diego State at 4 o'clock East, so just under an hour there. Memphis and Auburn at 5 o'clock East. That's the championship, Cam, of that Maui Invitational after Auburn beat North Carolina last night. So we have a lot of college rack. I know you're involved.
Oh, I am involved, Carver. I'm going to tell you something, too, just looking at some of these scores. I'm going to take maybe a shot, small play, West Virginia. What are they getting right now? 13.5 against Gonzaga. I just like to take these dogs, have a little bit of fun with it right now. I think it's too many points there. But as for that other game later on tonight, I just think Auburn's too good. I would take Auburn to win the tournament. Memphis has had some, they've been playing great. I got to give the Memphis Tigers a lot of credit, but Auburn, to me, is a superior basketball team. They're one of the best teams in the nation.
They are one of the best teams in the nation. And I will ask you for the second day in a row, there is Champions League games going on. And you do have actually a heavy hitter game with Liverpool and Real Madrid as part of our afternoon slate of Champions League game. I know that Celtics in play as well. Aston Villa against Juventus, pretty good game. Do you have anything with the Champs League for us? Any draws?
Not yet, Carver.
Like
no. I gotta be honest with you. There's only so much I can bet on right now. Maybe an in-game live play because these guys get started at 3 o'clock Eastern. If I see something I like, I'll sniff it out. But I'll tell you, man, there's so many damn games. I don't know what to do. I need an ATM in here.
I'm overloading Cam already. We're only a couple minutes into the show, and I've already overloaded him with college basketball and Champions League. So if I haven't overloaded him enough, Cam, I have got every NFL game, Thursday, Friday, Sunday that we have to get to today. I have every
Perfect.
college football game that matters Thursday, Friday, and Saturday that we have to get to today. I've got 15 NBA games. There's 15 hockey games tonight. I have got so many things that your head's going to spin just under 3 hours from now in terms of all the plays that you're going to be going. But obviously we'll start, Cam, with Thanksgiving with the NFL, a tradition unlike any other, including our stops in Detroit and Dallas, as always, to start the day. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday. The Lions come in really as a wrecking crew this year. They also come in having lost 7 years in a row on Thanksgiving Day at home. You have Dallas, who stinks, against the Giants, who stink. And you have the Packers and the Dolphins as the nightcap. Game's going to be cold, Cam, but I know some people were trying to sell me on some snow yesterday. I don't see that anymore. Sounds like it's just going to be a little chilly up in Lambeau for the Fish and the Pack.
I got to tell you, Morency's trying to get me off Miami with all those cold weather stats, but you know what? I think some of these stats are meant to be broken, and I think Tua's taking it personally this time. Everyone's talking, oh, you can't play in the cold, you can't play in the cold. I just love the way Miami's playing in that game, Carver. Nothing's going to switch my mind. Like, if it gets cold, I don't care. They're going to find a way to get it done. They're a hot football team right now, and they got to get on a heater to make the playoffs. You talked about it. They're on the porch right now, almost in the door. If they can get some wins, Miami can get in there. So I think it's a huge game for the Fish.
Yeah, and they've gotten back by beating some bad competition. There's no question about that. The last 2 weeks, really. The win in LA against the Rams was nice. But beating up the Patriots and the Raiders, stepping up in class here in Lambeau against the Packers, I think they can stay within the number. We will dive into that. I'm going to go against those snow numbers too, Cam, and cold weather numbers with Tua and the Dolphins. I'm going to go right after them. We've got a Black Friday game as well between the Chiefs and the Raiders we'll discuss, and we will go through all the big games on Sunday, including, Cam, that Eagle-Raven game, very juicy. In the late window on Sunday afternoon, Eagles playing great. Ravens coming off the win on Monday night. Bills and Niners, Sunday night game. Niners need it bad. That's another weather situation. I think people overblew it yesterday, and it's now saying, yeah, maybe some snow showers, but it's not like there's going to be 6 feet of snow on the ground in Buffalo. Going to be a little cold, but that's not Niner weather, Cam, what they're going to get on Sunday night in Buffalo.
I'll tell you, this Niner season is starting to go down the tubes. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm looking at it right now, and that division's so tight. It's not just that, Carver. Even though they're there, they have teams to leapfrog. And without Purdy, I don't think, this team really steps back. So, shockingly, I know a lot of people have the Niners in parlays, those division winner parlays, and a lot of them right now don't look too good.
No, in fact, I'm one of those people where all the other legs look great except the Niners. I'm also one of those people who always goes after the Niners and decided not to this year. And that's just typical, Cam, how that always works out for me. So we'll do all that. We'll go through all the college football. The rankings were released last night. Same at the top: Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, top 5. You know, when you get into the byes, it gets a lot trickier than that. I hope that it doesn't end this way, Cam, because the games suck. Indiana, Penn State, SMU, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Georgia. We know it's not going to end that way. It's going to get jumbled a lot more over the next 2 weeks. So we'll go through all of that. We told you there's tons of live college basketball. I've got tons of NBA and NHL tonight. Blake Snell went to the Dodgers as well last night to start the big. Man, it's a rich get richer, Cam. So a very, very full CDC. And we've even got some fights with Mafia later. So we have got a full house on a Wednesday. Ferrall coast to coast, Carver High and Cam in for Scotty. We get it rolling right after this on the grid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, guys?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Totally, I missed you licking your own cheek. Because I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma would do to you. You go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the two big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid, Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back from coast to coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us. Gabe's with us every day. Gabe Morency, Sports Rage, late night, weeknights at 10 p.m. East, right here on the grid. He's on C2C, as we mentioned, every day with us. Gabe, good to see you. As always, my man, we got a lot to do here. Tons of games over the next 4 days. While we're not going to be here, at least on Coast to Coast. I know, Gabe, you're on the Packer game tomorrow night? What do you got in terms of in-game live for these football games?
Yeah, we'll be live for the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers, 8 o'clock Eastern until midnight tomorrow night. So come celebrate the end of Thanksgiving with arguably the best game of the day, right? We don't know how it's going to play out, but at least this is the real. I'll put it this way. I wouldn't have been like I'm glad I'm not doing the Giant Cowboy game. I'll put it that way.
Well, look. I would say that out of all three I'll even mix in the Friday game as well because that game sucks too. Out of the 4 games, the Dolphin-Packer game has, I guess, the most sellability from the NFL. They could sell you that Miami's back in it. The game's at Lambeau. It's Green Bay. That both teams are okay. So you do have the best of the bunch. And Cam has already told me that you've tried to pull him off of betting the Dolphins with all the cold weather stats for Tua and everybody that they're going to have.
Oh, he can do what he wants. It's his money. I'm not trying to pull him off. I'm not trying to pull him off of anything. I just brought up, I'm more of a factual type of bettor than feelings. But all kidding aside, people talk a lot about Tua in the cold weather. You know this being a Buffalo Bill fan. It's not just Tua. This has been a thing forever.
Yeah.
And it's not something I want to get in front of. And to put in context, guys, it's not like, they can't win when it's like super cold. They don't win when it's 42 degrees or below, point blank. They're 0-12. They've lost 12 consecutive football games, this organization, when it's 42 degrees or colder. And 42 degrees isn't even cold, right? So it's going to be in the 30s and the 20s at Lambeau. So it actually will kind of be cold. Plus, it's nighttime. The wind's going to start to get going a bit there. If it starts snowing, raining a little bit, it's just going to be the toxic combination. Bad weather expected Sunday night in Buffalo as well for the 49er game, which I'm not really a fan of, Carver, to be honest. That's kind of an equalizer, bad weather. Like, if it's going to be a snow game, it equalizes things.
Yeah, and I think I've been looking at it closely. I have another guy from up there who says it's not going to be as bad as some people are making out. Is there going to be some snow showers? Yes. Is there going to be 1.5 feet of snow on the ground? No. It doesn't think that it's going to be that big of a deal that night during the game. He thinks that things are good, but it's going to be cold. And we've always said that it's almost sometimes feels like our Bills are built more like a dome team than they are an outdoor team, just because of the way that Josh Allen operates. But I don't think the Niners are necessarily, with all their problems and their injuries, built for an outdoor game like that either right now. They got a lot of guys hurt.
You are right, too, about weather fear-mongering. It's, the media does it with everything, but they always hype everything. Oh, terrible weather, and it really isn't. And even remember last week with Cleveland, it finally happened in the second half. People hyped it up all day, and the weather wasn't an issue in the first half. And ironically enough, remember last Thursday Night Football, guys, first half had like 10 points, and the weather was fine. And then the snow hit, and it became chaotic. And then they scored like 38 points or whatever it was after. So bad weather can actually often lead to points. But, like you said, Carver, I mean, even tomorrow in Miami with Green Bay, it's not going to be that bad, right? I'm just bringing up the fact that it is, they are 0-12, 42 degrees. We saw Tua say, hey, I look forward to proving that narrative wrong. The Dolphins have looked good. You know what I mean? They scored 27 points in their first two games, and Tua came back. They lost 7-47. Then they go on the road. That game against the Rams on Monday Night Football was a nice turning point for them. And then they beat teams that they were supposed to in the Raiders and the Patriots. So now they go back on the road again. I just think it's asking a little bit too much. Forget about the weather, Carver, but it's not easy, bro, to win 4 football games in a row in the National Football League with 2 of them being on the road in primetime television. I don't care what team you are, what the temperature is. I think Green Bay win this football game.
The 2 traditional Thanksgiving home teams, the Lions and the Cowboys, they've had their problems, Gabe. The Lions have lost 7 straight up at home on Thanksgiving Day. The Cowboys have only covered, I think it's 2 of the last 12 years against the spread at home. You like any of this stuff in the early action? I think the Lions are on a mission, and I'm going to go against a lot of those trends. I think the Lions are going to smash the Bears.
Yeah, you know what? From betting perspective, I really like the over of that game. All right, the first game. Just to put money down, I'll give you a side in a second, but I think the over is the way to go here. The Chicago Bear offense they're putting up over 100 more yards a game since they made the offensive coordinator change. Waldron was that bad. Caleb is starting to get it right now, right? He's making plays. It's not his fault that the team chokes at the last second and weird things happen to them all the time. But Caleb is starting to get it right now, and the offense is starting to move the ball with the Bears. But at the same point in time, you really want to get in front of the Detroit Lions, right? And, the juggernaut that they are. Yet, you know what? We're here to give a pick, and not everything is as obvious as it's going to be. I'm going to say that the Bears actually hang around in this game.
Ooh.
I'm going to say that the Bears hang around in a high-scoring game. Lions win. Like the Bears, backdoor it, and people are frustrated the Lions won and didn't cover. They'll win by 7 or 8 or something. You know what I mean?
But you like the over more. You like the 48.5 more than a side. You think that you'll get
I like
some
the
points,
over a lot. I think we're going to get into the 50s. I do think both teams are going to put points up on each other, but I got to take the double digits in this spot. And I'm not proud to say this. This is one of those close your eyes, hold on for dear life type of deals, but give me the Bears plus 10.
Seen some 9.5s today, too. With the line, got below
so-called
10.
Sharp guys like me. We're moving the number cover.
That's it. That's what it is. Last 20 seconds, the Cowboy-Giant game.
Dude, this one I like. I want to take the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to take some frustrations out on the Giants. But I'm not. I prefer if it's DeVito and not Luck, because I don't know what I'm going to get from Drew Lock now. So if Luck comes in here, maybe he provides a little bit of a spark, because I think he might be better than Jones. I know he's better than DeVito. You know what I'm saying? If it was DeVito, I'm all in. But now this Lock stuff's scaring me off.
Ferrall Coast to Coast. We're back. More with Gabe after this.
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Marcus Johnson, when you look at Nikola Jokic, these aren't guys that are big, super athletic, dunking and jumping over people. These are just guys that are clean, skilled footwork, and do things below the rim that make the everyday guy look like it'd be like, I can do that. But you can't, and neither can I.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
And we're back. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty. Gabe Morency's with us. Sports Rage late night, weeknights at 10 East here on the grid. One quick thing, Gabe, because I just saw this. We were talking about the Bill-Niner game and how many guys the Niners have had out. Trent Williams, who didn't play last week, one of the Niner guys just reported he was using a knee scooter to move around the locker room today. Even walking has been painful for him. That doesn't sound too good for him for Sunday night, playing in Buffalo in 20-degree weather. I'm sure Trent doesn't want any part of that with how banged up he's been.
Let's do everybody in the NFC a favor. Let's do everybody in the NFC a favor and finish off the San Francisco 49ers. Let's put them out of their misery. This season's a train wreck for them. Let's just, let's not like push them one step closer to the edge of the cliff, and then they go back home in the NFC and someone can push them off the cliff.
Hopefully that does happen. We have, obviously, last week of the regular season in college football. Next week is the conference championship games. We got the new bracket last night, which I think we all know is going to change a lot by the end of next week, and I sure hope it does because the matchups suck. If they were ending today, you don't want any of these games.
Mike, these are the Saturday games again. I said last night. You'd go shopping with your wife and kids. You know what I mean? You'd be like, all right, I'm looking at the card. I got to watch the NFL. You know what? I'm going to go out now. It's Iowa State, Ohio State, Indiana, Penn State. Dude, Indiana, Penn State is an FS1 game. They wouldn't even put that on Fox in the regular season.
SMU Notre Dame, and then you have the people say,
that's
well,
actually
Alabama
one of the cooler ones.
And we don't want Alabama in. You're going to want Alabama in because imagine Alabama at Notre Dame or Alabama at Penn State or one of those.
I swear, bro, they're already starting it. Wow, what would Alabama's be? They're getting defensive. What would Alabama's record be if they were in the Big 12? Right? It's like, listen, guys. If you want to make this the Big Ten SEC Invitational, just go ahead and do it. Because that's what we're doing here. Just tell everyone to F off. None of you matter. But, dude, they're going to campaign for Bama, and, something else happens. They're going to try to squeeze one of these three losses. Ole Miss are actually, I saw Saban today on McAfee saying that. He said, Ole Miss, well, Ole Miss are three losses, but we all know they're better than everyone in the Big 12. It's like, no, I don't know that. I don't know that. You lose all the time, Ole Miss. I don't know that.
And I've even seen them now say, well, if South Carolina beats Clemson on Saturday, they're going to jump everyone and get it. let's relax, please. If they're gonna,
what about Vanderbilt, Mike? They're gonna make a case. Vandy had a nice year.
Let's get Vandy in there. They've had a good year. Let's try to roll through as many of these as we can. Do your Wolverines cover the 3 tutties in Columbus against the Buckeyes?
Yes.
Well.
I'm not really. I'm not saying this because I'm a homer or I love Michigan to death. I've been ruining this day. I've been scared of it. This is like the first day back at school after you beat someone up last year, but this kid's been, he's got his boys waiting. Like, it was sort of like, oh, God, we're going to get beaten down, man. They owe us. We've beaten them 3 times in a row. Dude, now that the game is approaching, I love it. I love how Michigan's players are embracing this. They're like, man, can't wait. Shock the world. Let's rock. Dude, you saw Ryan Day talking about next to his father dying, it's the worst thing that's ever happened to him in his life. And he goes, including my family's life. Imagine this guy's poor family, bro, being around him. It's in his head. They're scared. I haven't seen anything from Ohio State online either. Like their official account isn't very, you know what it tells me? They're worried. They're like scared. Yeah. Point blank, this isn't hyperbole. Mike, if Ryan Day loses his game, he's fired. Like, you just lost to Michigan 4 years in a row. You blew up our chance at national championship. You're fired. Like, he's coaching for his life, bro. Meanwhile, we come in. We got Bryce Underwood on our back pocket. Hey, guys, yeah, we didn't win this year, but we're going to be great again next year. And we beat you all the time. Michigan are playing with house money. Give me the 21 points in that game, bro.
Texas laying 5.5 at College Station against Texas A&M as they start that rivalry back up.
Texas A&M are really good, but Texas are better. I think this is where Texas flexed their muscle. This is the difference of Texas being in big games. Reed is still a kid, nice quarterback. You saw A&M last week, just couldn't get key stops when they had to. I'll tell you what, this Texas Longhorn defensive line is brutal, man. Like, and I don't mean in a bad way. Brutal, like, for you. Like, they just terrorize you. I've always thought Texas are kind of soft over the years. They're not. Like, this is not a soft team. Like, their D-line just murder quarterbacks. I think the defense is the difference in this game. I think the Texas Longhorns win and cover the point spread and go to the SEC Conference Championship game.
I'm almost out of time. Give me one other game you like fast. I mean,
all right,
besides Rutgers, we both love Rutgers. What else do you like?
You better win it. They tried to beat your Notre Dame last night by 1. I had them on the money line. Speaking of, give me Michigan against Xavier. I hate to do this to you, Mike. USC might beat Notre Dame. Give me the points.
Come on.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Marcus Johnson, when you look at Nikola Jokic, these aren't guys that are big, super athletic, dunking and jumping over people. These are just guys that are clean, skilled footwork, and do things below the rim to make the everyday guy look like it'd be like, I can do that. But you can't, and neither can I.
Betting above the rim, Only on SportsGrid.
And we're back. Ferrall Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday, Thanksgiving week Wednesday. Carver High and the Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. It is great to have everybody with us here today. Nice job by Gabe. You'll see him tonight, of course, on Sports Rage late night, 10 p.m. East. And we will now get rolling through all of this action that we have through the next couple of days. And we'll start with Thanksgiving, of course, Turkey Day, with the NFL and the Detroit Lions in the early game against the Bears. Here is Dan Campbell. We've mentioned to you a lot. The Lions have lost 7 straight games on Thanksgiving Day. Dan Campbell obviously hasn't won any since he's been there. He is looking to change that.
I think there's 2 things. Number one, get a W, right? And it's a division win. That's why this is huge. Number 2 is because, the players are going to get a couple of days off. So they got family, friends in. It'd be nice to, to feel good about it when you're with everybody. Because it's just not real fun. It's not real fun to be around. Ask my wife. She'll tell you. Like, that's what she's praying for a win. I mean, big time, because she knows that, I'm a bear when we don't win. So we all want it. And it is long overdue, but we got to win the win.
He does seem like the type of guy, Cam, that, like, when he loses, you don't probably want to be near him, especially at home. Like, he's probably, like, sitting out on the back porch, like, like crushing a Miller High Life or something after he loses a game. Like, you can just see Dan Campbell.
Shooting a rifle, target practice, cans, bam, 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 bam. Yeah, I'm with you. The wife,
like the
hey, Dan, what's for dinner? You want dinner, Dan? Yeah, it could be a problem. They better win. Yeah, that guy looks like he looks like a great guy, like party animal when things are going well, but other room when he's angry. Yes.
Intense. Intense would be the word, I think, that we could throw out there for Dan, especially in a spot like this. So we talked yesterday about double-digit favorites, and believe it or not, Cam, this morning, strangely enough, this is now, at least at 1 or 2 of the places I'm looking, has dipped below 10. I'm seeing 9.5 for a few places for the Lions now, with a 48.5 total, which ruins the stat that I had for you, or the trend with favorites of 10 or more points on Thanksgiving since 2005, or 10-0 straight up and 10-2 against the spread. So that ruins that if it's going to go to 9.5. It doesn't qualify anymore. I'm staying what I said to you yesterday. Smash City, they're on a mission. Campbell's not losing again on Turkey Day. The Bears coming off another excruciating loss. Gabe's probably right about that over 48.5. But I'm in, Cam. It bothers the hell out of me that everyone's on the Lions and the line has gone down. We all know what that means. But I'm still staying with it, Cam. I'm going after it.
You know what? My initial pick was the Bears, but I got to stick with it. But I think the Lions are going to win this game in teasers. Gabe's right. I think there's going to be points in this game. I can see, like, literally, I like the computer. I like Lions by like a touchdown, 7 or 8, just not to cover. But you're right, Carver. If they bring the heat, they can win this game by 20. So, but it's a divisional game. It's Thanksgiving. I just worry about the Bears' mindset, the way they've lost the last couple of games. But they will show up. It's national TV, and it's on Turkey Day.
I hope not. I hope they get destroyed. I hope it's like honestly like 45-10 Lions. I hope everybody's complaining that they have to watch the game while I'm sitting there with a whole bunch of Lion touchdown props and laying the 9.5 or 10, and I can just the turkey dinner will go down a lot better, Cam, if that's the case. Favorites in general on Thanksgiving since 2005, 36-19. That's a 66% hit.
Wow.
Against the spread for favorites. So the favorites have been good in all of these matchups. I do have some tutties for you. I'll get you to those, Cam, after we do all the games. Second game of the day in Dallas, Giants and the Cowboys. We told you yesterday how Jerry said on that local radio hit that he does every week how, listen, it's very possible that Mike McCarthy's going to get an extension. He's done a good job here. That was news that Mike wanted to hear later in the day at his press conference. Not thinking about it, but likes hearing it.
This morning, Jerry Jones said it wouldn't be crazy for you to get a contract extension.
Why are you laughing? Crazy, I mean.
Us that we're still talking about this, and here we are in late November, about your future and that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I really haven't talked about it all year, so I mean, definitely not going to start on a short week in an important division game. But I'm not going to throw away positive vibes either. So I'll keep them coming. But that's all good. But no, yeah, that's not something I'm really focused on.
Probably already has one, Cam, and they're just not announcing it until after a year. He probably already has the extension, and they just haven't said anything yet. That's why
I like McCarthy, though. He's a fun, jovial guy. He's the type of guy you want to have a couple pints with, Carver. I could see us, walking to the bar, you loosen up the tie, McCarthy's got a couple beers lined up for us. He looks like a nice fella.
I agree with that. He probably is, and it probably helps us more because we're not Cowboy fans. So that's why it's easier for us to want to go have a beer with them. I think if you grab the Cowboy fans, Cam, I don't know if they think he's as jovial or want to sit down and have a beer with them. I think they want to kick him out the door. But I'm with you. I would like to do that with Mike if I was ever given the opportunity. The Cowboys are -3.5. The total is 37.5. That's a low total, Cam. Can we get that total? We don't know definitely who's going to be playing quarterback for the Giants. It sounds like it is going to be DeVito, but it would be Drew Lock if it's not him going into the game.
I'll tell you, I don't want to bet on DeVito, but I wouldn't mind taking a shot with Locke. I just want to see what he does. You bring this guy over, he never plays. What's the deal? You know what I mean? It's just very interesting. And when he was back up to Geno Smith in Seattle, he's competent. I'm not going to say he's great by any stretch of the imagination, but he can't be any worse than Tommy Cutlets, Carver. You've seen Tommy play. Come on, Drew Lock, you say he started in Denver. He's an NFL journeyman, and he has an upside. I think we know what we get with DeVito. Not much.
Well, here's the thing, and this was all from this afternoon. The Giant guys all saying it's a long shot that DeVito will play. In fact, Cam, reports are that he's not even traveling with the team. He's not flying with the team. He will join them later in Dallas. Well, what the hell is that about? Why is he not? And then Schefter said it too. Also notable, not only is Tommy DeVito not flying to Dallas with the Giants, but he didn't practice today. I think it's starting to sound, Cam, like it's going to be Drew Lock for this game tomorrow in Big D. So I think we should plan accordingly for that. And I believe we said yesterday that if it's Drew Lock, we'll take the 3.5 with the Giants. Cowboys 2-10 their last 12 Thanksgivings against the spread. 2-10 the Cowboys at home.
Yeah, they get murdered on Thanksgiving. I'll tell you one thing, Carver. I wish we got that 4 if we knew this was going to happen. That would have been nice, but 3.5 is better than 3. So we'll take our shot with Drew Lock, and hopefully these guys play for him. As I said before on the other show the other day, he's playing for something else. He's playing for himself. Mm-hmm. He's playing for another deal because I don't think he likes Dable and those guys. I think he just wants to get out of Dodge. With a good performance, he can still keep a job.
I'm going to go over, Cam. I think that bad game, two bad teams, and especially with Locke playing, I think we can get both teams in the low 20s. I think we can get into the 40s here. Over 37.5. I'm going to take my shot with that tomorrow night in the game. And I did get the number wrong, Cam. Actually, 2-11 Dallas against the spread since 2012 at home on Turkey Day. We will come back. We have a third game on Turkey Day, which is the night cap in Lambeau between the Dolphins and the Packers. We even, Cam, have Black Friday football coming up at Arrowhead in Kansas City with the Raiders and the Chiefs. So we have a full slate to get to with you, all of the football. I will give you a fast update while I have the time. Out at Maui, 52-42 Iowa State as they're early in the second half there. Gonzaga only up 3 on West Virginia early in the second half at Atlantis. So
take me home, country roads. Let's go, John Denver.
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Marcus Johnson, when you look at Nikola Jokic, these aren't guys that are big, super athletic, dunking and jumping over people. These are just guys that are clean, skilled footwork, and do things below the rim that make the everyday guy look like it'd be like, I can do that. But you can't, and neither can I.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back. Ferrall Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Cam Stewart in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. We're going through all the games between now and the rest of the weekend in the NFL, starting with Turkey Day, Thanksgiving tomorrow. And the nightcap, Cam, will take place in what is expected to be a very cold Lambeau Field, where the Miami Dolphins, who never win in the cold weather, have to go up there. They've won 3 games in a row, gotten themselves back to 5-6 and in the mix in the AFC playoff race. Here is Tua. As you know, he's 0-4 when the temperature is under 40 degrees. But it brings him back to the old days, Cam. Sitting around as a kid, watching the games on Thanksgiving, throwing the ball around in the yard during halftime. Tua's very, very happy to be playing on Turkey Day.
100%. I think this is an awesome opportunity, being able to play Thursday night football, prime time on Thanksgiving. It just takes me back to growing up in Hawaii. Obviously, the primetime games were a little earlier in Hawaii, but you know, it's sort of the same deal. Like, that's the only team that's playing, and whether you like the teams that were playing or not, like you just sit down, eat, you spend time with family, and you get to watch that. And, sometimes you go outside and you pretend to be some of the players, that are playing.
Very nostalgic, Cam, from Tua there, as he gets ready to play at Lambeau Field coming up here tomorrow night. I know that I'm nuts. You probably are too. But I'm taking Flipper here. I'm going to go swim with Flipper. Plus the 3.5 in Lambeau against the Packers. 47.5 is the total. I think we can get there. I know it's going to be cold. I get it. But I think Miami's playing their best football of the year right now. And and a key for me here, Cam, is that I don't think the Packer D's great. And you have to take advantage when Love gives you those couple opportunities a game to hand you the football.
Yep.
And he does it every game. Some teams take advantage, some don't, like the Niners last week. But you have to take advantage when Love is willing to hand you a turnover. And if the Dolphins do, Cam, I think we're there.
I think their defense is playing a hell of a lot better recently, Carver, and I think they can force some fumbles. You know what? I know we talk about the cold. I think the Dolphins are going to show up. They understand how big this is. They seem galvanized again. I'm taking the fish, but Carver, I do have a lean to the under in this game, and it's not about the weather. I just think the defenses are going to step up a little bit. I think we just get under the number here.
Just get under the number, huh, Cam? Just get under the number. Defense is stepping up for Cam in the cold at Lambeau Field. I do have picks for the touchdowns for Thursday. I usually, Cam, like on a Friday, I'll give you the Sunday games. Unfortunately, not all the touchdowns are out yet for Sunday. They don't have every game out. They don't have a full slate, but they absolutely have the Thursday touchdowns available for me. So here's where I am going to go for Turkey Day. I'm going Gibbs for two touchdowns. That's right.
Two.
Not one, but two. The Lions usually get about 3 rushing touchdowns a game recently, and 2 of them go to either Montgomery or Gibbs. Since Montgomery's a little banged up, I think it'll be a Gibbs day. 2 tutties for Gibbs, plus 330. DJ Moore, plus 230. Bear offense has looked good the last couple of weeks. CeeDee Lamb, plus 180, was very involved against the Washington Commanders last Sunday. I think that Cooper Rush could find him. And in the nightcap, Jaden Reed for the Packers at plus 170. And if you notice, Tua has been hooking up with Jonnu Smith a lot.
Yes.
In the end zone. He has scored a couple games in a row, and they're still giving you a nice plus 250 price for him. The Turkey Day Thanksgiving picks, Cam. Let's go.
Carver, I have 4 out of your 5 picks on your board.
Let's go.
Yeah, I got Jonnu Smith. I dropped Pitts for Jonnu Smith. Jaden Reed's on my fantasy team. I like him. I took Gibbs and Lamb. I wasn't sure about Moore. I was either going to give it to one of the backs like Johnson or Swift. But, hey, I love your picks, and I love the Jonnu Smith.
My hope is, Cam, that the Bears are going to be down like 24 or 30 points in this game, and that Caleb Williams is going to be throwing the football in garbage time and hits Moore, probably hit Odunze or Keenan Allen. But we're going to try it with DJ Moore on a Turkey Day. We have one other holiday NFL game, and that is on Friday. Black Friday, second year in a row, Black Friday NFL. And this year you have the Raiders heading to Kansas City against the Chiefs. Another big number for us here, Cam. Chiefs minus 12.5 with the 42.5 total. Looks like it'll be Aiden O'Connell for the Raiders, who stinks, by the way, as they get ready for this. I know the numbers with the Chiefs. 6-0 straight up as favorites of 6 or more, but 0-5-1 against the spread. They never cover these big numbers, Cam. But that soundbite from Mahomes on Sunday after another close win against Carolina of him saying, be nice to have a blowout for a change. I think that this is the team that could serve the blowout to him right there on a silver platter at home.
Couldn't agree more. And I never take the Chiefs, Carver. You know me, like I'm on the Bills. I bet against these guys all the time because they don't cover numbers. This is the week. Your hated rival. Mahomes is like, what's the deal? We almost lost to Carolina. Let's get it done. Chiefs, I think they win this game by 20 points, Carver.
Yeah, I think they win the game by 20-plus points as well, Cam. They're going to take care of business and get it done against them. That is for sure. All right, Cam. So we have several other things that are going to go on here with this. And I do like I didn't get the touchdowns in for the Chiefs either. But I think we go Hopkins, Cam, for the Chiefs on Friday. I do like Hopkins. And I can't play Bowers. I play Bowers every week, but I can't play him this week because O'Connell stinks. So we're going to throw Bowers off the pile this week in that game, Cam.
My Raider is Abdullah the Butcher. Abdullah the Butcher versus Dusty Rhodes, razor blade match. Abdullah. And he pays a fortune.
All right, so you know what, Cam? We'll throw him in. We'll get Abdullah the Butcher in the mix for Cam as well. All right, we'll come back. We'll start to roll through all of Sunday's games as well. And now, by the way, West Virginia up 3 on Gonzaga with under 13 minutes to go down in Atlantis. So here come the Mountaineers for Cam. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. Carver High, Cam Stewart for Scotty. We're back on the grid right after this.
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Marcus Johnson, when you look at Nikola Jokic, these aren't guys that are big, super athletic, dunking and jumping over people. These are just guys that are clean, skilled footwork, and do things below the rim that make the everyday guy look like it'd be like, I can do that. But you can't, and neither can I.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back for Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High and Cam Stewart in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Good to have everybody with us here today. All right, Cam, we got a lot of games on Sunday that we have to go through. Let's rip through a couple of them here, and then we'll pick them back up at the top of the hour. First, let's go to New England. And there's, you know what you're going to notice here, Cam, a lot of home dogs this week. In the NFL on Sunday. Sunday, there's a ton of home dogs. A lot of them coming off a bye, too. Pats are not one of those teams. Plus 2.5 for them at home against the Colts. 42.5 is the total in this game. I mean, the Colts have, I don't know, they haven't been impressive, Cam. Even I thought Richardson was awful against the Lions last week. I know the Pats stink. The Pats' defense stinks, which is where, can the Colts actually get something going in the pass game here, Cam? Because they should beat the Patriots, but it's a tricky line. 2.5, it makes it seem too easy almost with the Colts.
You're damn right, and I think a lot of people are going to be on the Colts, and I might fall right into this trap. It's a very dangerous game. I thought Pierce could have been, he dropped a couple balls, he was open, some bad penalties by Indianapolis last week against the Lions, but this is a better team. They're a 5-7 football team covered. They got to win this game, and this is the thing. Like they're going to be pumped up. I don't like the fact that it's 2.5 like you. I like 3. So that's the deal. I'm going to take the horseshoe, buddy, but I don't feel comfortable.
I don't feel comfortable with it either, Cam. In fact, I kind of, you know what I like in this game? I like the under, believe it or not. Under 42.5 for the Colts and the Patriots. That's kind of where I'm looking right now for this game. Interesting one on Sunday. Arizona into Minneapolis against the Vikings. We know the deal with the Cardinals now, Cam. They were in first in the West. Now they're tied after losing in Seattle last week to your Seahawks. Have to make the trip up to see the Vikings here. They're getting 3.5. 44.5 is the total.
I like Arizona in this spot. I got 4 earlier on in the week. It's down to 3.5. I'm going to tell you, Carver, this is the type of game that Arizona can win. Not very crisp against Seattle, but Kyler Murray, they will do enough. This is a desperate football team. I think they're going to get in there and win. And Minnesota, they've been playing real tight games. I like this spread because if Minnesota wins, I think they win between 1 and 3. Give me the Cardinals. Cheap, cheap, cheap.
Cardinals, cheap for Cam coming in this week. Unbelievable with you. I don't trust the Vikings laying the 3.5.
That's
Cam.
the thing.
That's the problem for me. I don't trust the Vikings. Cam's gonna have to pick it up here for a moment.
Yeah! I love it. Bet the Cardinals, Dad. Come on, Dad. You love those Cardinal tickets. No, I'm going to tell you, Carver, this is the deal. Arizona wins those type of games. That's what they do. They linger in the game. And take a look at Minnesota. Sure, they're winning games, but they're winning tight football games. They let the Bears get back into that game. They've been winning, but not like blowing anybody out like they were in the start. Sam Darnold's starting to regress a little bit. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to take the Cardinals there. It's a good line. Anything over the hook, you give me over 3, I'm definitely going to be on the Cardinals in that one. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, what are we going to do here? Know what, Seattle, this is my game. When we talked about it with Carver the other day, everybody is going to take Pittsburgh as a dog. They're like, why the hell are the Bengals favored by 2.5? Well, the books aren't stupid. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals to win this game by 4. I like them in this situation. This is a spot where Pittsburgh, I think, gets into a little bit of trouble. And Cincinnati's offense will do enough. The problem with Russell Wilson and that offense is, despite the Bengals having a pretty porous D, I think Cincinnati, Chase, Brown, Jamar Chase, and the rest of the crew will do enough to cover that number. Next game we got on the board, oh, God, this one's tough. What do we got? The LA Chargers at Atlanta. This is one of the hardest games of the week. I got to tell you, guys, I'm taking Atlanta. I might be stupid here. I did a show with Pat Mayo and a couple other guys. Everybody's on LA in this spot. I know my boy Jeff Feinberg, great fan of the Chargers, but Atlanta coming off the bye. This is what you have to do, Cousins. It's a very simple recipe. You run Bijan into the ground in this game. He gets 20 to 30 touches with a little pinch of Algier in there. Then we go. It'll set up the pass game to Drake London and Pitts and everybody else. So give me Frank Falcon. I am not comfortable with this game, but everybody seems to be on the Chargers, so I will fly with the Falcon.
Sometimes, Cam, you get around the holidays and everybody gets a little crazy. That's what goes over.
Yes.
Everyone gets a little crazy around the holidays. Ferrall Coast to Coast, hour number 2, next on the grid. Together, both Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the 2 big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, it's going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid, Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Quarterly, I missed you picking your own sheep because I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma would do when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.